Anyways. Hey guys. Today we're gonna do a video on modulation. So, to put it simply, modulation can be defined as a key change, but there's actually many types of modulation, and so I'll describe to you briefly the first one, but we're not gonna dwell on it because there's not much to talk about. And then there's a second, like slightly more complicated kind, and that's the main topic of this video. So the first kind of modulation is just the transposition of the melody. So like you play the melody and then you just play the same thing again in a different key. So an example of this would be like Aladdin's A Whole New World. So I'll play it for you and then I'll like briefly explain it, but yeah. So it starts in D. But then at some point it like transposes to F. So it started in D. Right? But then at some point it goes, now I'm in a the same melody. Like it's the same melody but in F. That's one kind of modulation. But it's not the kind I want to talk about today because that's really all there is to it. So yeah. The second type of modulation that I want to talk about is the kind of modulation where the key change, the melody doesn't just transpose itself to the key you're changing to. The melody is its own separate thing, and then the chords under it change tonal centers, but the melody doesn't just copy itself to the new key. So one example of this is the Christmas song. There are a couple of variations to like the chord progression for this, but I pulled up one, and so I'm like recovering from a cold, so excuse my singing, but like yeah, I'll sing it for you. Okay, so I'm doing this in B flat. Chestnuts roasting on an open fire, Jack Frost nipping at your nose, Yuletide carols being sung by a choir, and folks dressed up as Eskimos. Everybody knows. Okay, so the chords that I just played: B flat major, C minor 6, B flat over D, a 2-5-1 going to F, and then a 2-5-1 going to E flat, A flat dominant, G minor, D dominant over F sharp, B flat over F, a minor 2-5-1, going to D minor, but it goes to D major instead. And then a 2-5-1 going to D flat, and then a 2-5-1 going to B flat. Okay. So this song is really well written because the melody actually exits B flat and then enters again. It's harder to write that kind of song. For example, like if I were to just write a song with a melody that doesn't exit B flat, I could just take Jingle Bells and put different chords under it. And it would be easy to compose a song like that because I can just compose it in B flat and then switch up the chords later. So if I was like, Jingle Bell, if I was like, Jingle Bells, Jingle, oh, sorry. If I was like, Jingle Bells, Jingle Bells, Jingle all the way. I sounded like a kid singing that. But the chords, I just switched up the chords. C, like a minor 2-5-1 to A minor, and then it goes to A major. But the melody, like it's just in C. But this song, it's like it's still in B flat. It hasn't changed yet. That's not in B flat. So the melody itself exits B flat, which is harder to write because then it's like you kind of have to like compose both at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Modulation can overlap with modal interchange. Because sometimes there are dual functions. There are certain chords that can be both modulation and modal interchange. Like for the 2-5-1 to D flat in the Christmas song, you could say we borrowed from Aeolian. Like when we were here, right? And then we went. We could say that's modal interchange. We could say that was borrowed from B flat minor, right? Because this is B flat major, this is B flat minor. But since it's descending like a half step, it goes from here to here. One could say it sounds less like modal interchange and more like modulation because it's like two different majors, like right next to each other. But like also, you could technically call it modal interchange. So that's also something to consider. There's like almost never like only one right answer for something. So the next song that I'm gonna play for you is a jazz standard called Triste by Antonio Carlos Jobim. So yeah, I'm gonna play it for you and then we'll discuss the chords. So I just play B flat, G flat major 7. This is modal interchange, and we're borrowing from the flat 6 major 7. This is B dominant, and it's a tritone substitution going to B flat. This is a 2-5-1 to, well, actually, so okay, this is a 2-5-1 going to C, then it goes to C minor, and then this is a secondary dominant going to the 2 minor 7. Which means it's a minor 2-5-1 going to G minor, right? This is A7, which goes to D. So the A7 that goes to D. This is a 2-5-1 to D. But it doesn't go to D. It goes to D minor, which is another 2-5-1 that goes to C. But it doesn't go to C. It goes to C minor. This is a 2-5-1 that goes to B flat. But it does go to B flat. And then it goes to B flat minor. 2-5-1 to A flat, but it doesn't go to A flat. First of all, it goes back to B, but also A flat is not in B flat. So to analyze that, we would have to do a whole nother video. But just for now, it could be like multiple things. So it could be an amen cadence, or we modal interchange from the 1 major 7 to the 1 minor, or we could have borrowed from Mixolydian. So we can just like say it's that for now. So where were we? Back to B flat. This is a 2-5-1. Go to E flat. And it does. This is A flat dominant. Which we would expect to go to D flat, but it doesn't. It goes to, so this is, right, a 2-5-1 to C, but it goes to C dominant, and then it goes to C minor, so it goes to C minor, a 2-5-1 to B flat major, but it goes to B flat minor, and then it goes to E, and then B flat, and then E, and then E, and then B flat. So yeah, those are the chords. So the next song I'm going to be playing for you is Attention by New Jeans. It's a K-pop song, and so I'll like play it on the speaker, and then I'll kind of talk about the chords a little bit and stuff like that. Yeah. Okay, that's like, yeah. So the weird like vocal thing at the front, that's like between F and F sharp. It's like, it like kind of like glitches a little bit. Let me play it again. Right. So, and then after it does that, it's G flat major 7, A flat major 7, B flat major 7. So it's like, right? Okay. And then, so for these three chords, I view it as modulation. So you go from G flat major 7, and then you modulate to A flat major 7, and then you modulate to B flat major 7. But since there's like always many ways to explain things, you could also say that you borrowed from the flat 6 major 7. Sorry. Yeah, like the flat 6 major 7, the flat 7 major 7, and the 1 major 7. Or like Aeolian, Mixolydian, Ionian. But I think the like cleanest way to explain it is that all three of these chords have different tonal centers. And it's just like modulating up. So then we go to the pre-chorus. This is C minor 7 flat 5. And then it goes to B flat. C minor 7 flat 5. Okay. So yeah, C minor 7 flat 5, and then B flat major 7. C minor 7 flat 5 and B flat major 7. Or, yeah. So, in B flat, the chord that's on C is not flatted. The 5 isn't flatted. It's just C minor, but they use C minor 7 flat 5. So, it went from B flat minor, a chord in B flat minor, to B flat major, which could actually either be modulation or modal interchange, depending on how you see it. When the chords are changing from B flat minor to B flat major, the melody also changes, but it doesn't change right away. It goes you and me and mommy boy G, see, you see. So at first it goes. This is all B flat minor, right? See, this is still B flat minor, but then you see. So it changes a little bit later because you and me and my body. The melody is still in B flat minor, but the chord is in B flat major, but then the melody catches up. You see. Okay. And then, at the you give me butterflies, you know. You give me butterflies, you know. This is D minor 7 flat 5 now. Right. And then it goes to C minor 7 flat 5. But if you listen to it closely, and I'm gonna explain this first. It plays it 3 times like. But on the first note, it like sounds kind of like the bass is like a mix between B and C, and then it goes clear to C. So I don't know if I'm the only one hearing this, but like. So here. like the bass, it goes like kind of like some in between note, and then it goes clearly. This is the thing about like electronic piano, or when you're producing, like you can make like unidentifiable notes, like that vocal at the beginning, because it's just an electric piano. Like it's not like acoustic where it's like, oh, it's either an E or an F. Like it can be like ambiguous. So yeah, let me know if I'm the only one hearing that first kind of like in between note. Okay, then the chorus is just the same chords as before. So yeah. So an important takeaway from this is that when you're writing music, there's always going to be like many ways to explain a given chord change. But it's good to kind of have your own rules for things. So like, oh, if it's this kind of chord change, I'm doing it for like this reason. Because it's always going to be like many ways to explain it. But if you have your own set of rules for like, this happens, I'll explain it this way, then it's better. It's good. So, the next song that I'm gonna play for you is a song from a K-drama called Suspicious Partner, and the song is called Eye Contact. So I'll play it, and then I'll talk about it. So what just happened is F minor 7. Sorry, I only explained the first chord. F minor 7. B flat major 7. B flat dominant. E flat major. Right? C minor 7. And then it repeats that. But then it kind of speeds up 2 times. So there's 2 of the chords in one measure. It's the same chord progression. So it's like for that A major 7, you could say they borrowed from Lokrian, but you don't usually borrow at the very end like that. And the reason why it doesn't sound as awkward as you would think is because, yeah, so you could say like the B flat is like a tritone sub to A. So that's why it doesn't feel as awkward as you would think, because it just like jumps to a random chord at the end. So yeah. So that was a handful of songs. I know it was a lot, but I hope this video deepened and clarified your understanding of modulation. Thank you so much for watching. Bye. Oh, it's so hot in here.
Okay. Take
No,
off all
just-
the
just-
clothes.
No, stop.